the Asala marks Gautama Buddha's first sermon in Sarnath. What do you see as the main essence of the Dhammacakka Sutra?
The Buddha talked about the Four Noble Truths, but very interestingly, when he was enlightened, he was hesitating whether he should preach or not, because the spiritual truth that he had discovered was just going against the mainstream. So he was hesitating whether he should preach. He took 49 days going under this tree, this particular tree for 7 days, this particular tree for 7 days. I think he really was trying to find the way to deliver the message. How can he best deliver the message? Because his message, his spiritual discovery was going against the tide, so to say. So when he decided that he would preach, of course, in the commentary, give the story that Brahma could follow what's going on in the Buddha's mind and was afraid that if the Buddha should choose to pass away, then we would not benefit his teaching. So Sahampati Brahma came and invited the Buddha to preach. So also compare human beings, people, to 4 different types of lotuses. I just wanted to mention about Lotus because yours is Lotus Communication Network. 4 different types of lotuses. Of course, some of them will not understand, some of them will not benefit, but those lotus above the water will benefit from the Dharma teaching. So that's why the Buddha decided to accept the invitation of Brahma to preach. And Brahma, of course, also promised that the Brahma also would be Dharma protector. So the Buddha chose to deliver the 4 Noble Truths. Instead of talking about his discovery, he chose to talk about that which is most common to everyone, that is Dukha. But when we say Dukha, and it is translated into English as suffering, it actually limits the meaning of Dukha. More than suffering, it is that state, that condition which is changing all the time. And this is the truth that he discovered. Whatever is composed of, whatever is changing all the time, that is not eternal. That is not permanent. And the fact that we try to hold on to something as permanent, then dukkha, then suffering.
Yeah, the teachings on the dukkha, sometimes people say that the Buddhists are too pessimist. We see life as suffering all the time.
Yes.
How would you respond to that?
That's because they do not listen to the teaching of the Buddha. We are not talking about suffering as such, but we are realists. We are realists, not pessimists. We are realists, see things as they are. The real message of Buddhism is about see things as they are. We try to see things as what we think. We try to see things as what we would like to see them. That's why we have suffering. So see things as they are.
Also, another aspect of the Dhammacakka Sutra is what is called the Madhyama Pratipada, the middle way. Now,
Yes.
How would you prescribe a middle way to a modern person today?
The middle path is not talking about I take 3 dishes of rice and you take, another person takes only 1 dish of rice and the third person takes 2 dishes of rice. It's not the second person who takes the middle path. Middle path is about the 2 extremes of holding on to self, and the other extreme is completely denial of self. These 2 extremes, which was the thought in the Buddha's time. So the middle path between the extreme of holding on to self as real and the other extreme is complete denial of self.
Now, I have noticed young people in Asia including Thailand, where I was teaching
Yes.
in Thailand a few years ago. I
Ah,
noticed the young people don't see Buddhism as relevant to their modern life. How can you present the Buddhist teachings to young people, if you take Thailand, for example, so that they will
yes.
see the adoption of it as a modern way of living?
Yes, so we don't even talk about Buddhism, but we live Buddhism and show them how we live. It's very important, Buddhism is, how to say, the majority of people in this country are Buddhist. So they are born into this culture and they do not see, it is like fish do not see water, you know. So we do not see the importance of Buddhism. But when we start going out somewhere else, we start seeing something different. So for the modern people, I don't even mention about the word Buddhism, but take them, guide them from where they are. From where they are. If now, right now, we are in the middle of this COVID, and our temple is closed since 7th of April up till now. So they wanted to come, the younger generation, they wanted to come, they wanted this, they wanted that. But in this particular situation, we have to be adjusted. So we learn, we put on mask, we are preventing ourselves from getting virus from others. No, we are also protecting others not to get the virus from us in case we have the virus. And the situation is we do not know if actually I am having the virus or not. So this putting on mask is protecting myself and protecting others. So when this is the way that we start guiding them to care not only for ourselves but also care for others. So it is actually Buddhist teaching. It is
Uh,
actually Buddhist teaching,
you have
but in
been
practice.
you have been very active and basically spearheading a movement to re-establish the Bhikkhuni Sasana, especially in Theravada Buddhism. Now, if Buddhism is seen as more gender neutral or empowering women, uh, that could be appealing to young people, especially young women today in Asia,
Ah,
because gender
ah,
empowerment is a big issue around the world today. And Western countries don't have a monopoly on that. In fact, there are questions raised in the West as well about the position of
ah.
women, even in the Christian clergy. Now, how do you see bringing the Bhikkhu Sasana into the mainstream of Buddhism, encouraging young people to see Buddhism as a more modernist force?
The Buddha established Buddhists as the four groups of how to say Buddhist communities. Ordained ones. The ordained ones that he talked both about Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni, and on the lay side he also talked about the Upasaka and Upasika. So actually, this if you draw a circle, it is divided equally. Ordained half, unordained half, male half, female another half. And when the Buddha allowed the ordination for women, he actually opened up the space spiritually for women to be able to have this spiritual path equal to men. And but we have to consider the cultural aspect. In Sri Lanka, in Thailand, the culture is such that the men are leading. The men are the guiding voice. The guiding voice in society is still men. Is still men. But how are we going to balance? We start fighting about equal rights. I think we should. The fact that we are both of us, men and women, do have this access to spiritual enlightenment, and this is the beauty. This is the beauty in Buddhism, that it is open. It is open to both genders.